Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. Now, here's another video to discuss one of the activities that we've done in the past week. And this particular video will be talking about activity 10.1, uh, which was an activity posted on ELIP on week 10. All right. Now, if you do not remember what the activity was, uh, for that particular activity, you guys were supposed to be uh, com coming up with comparison sentences um, about three different cities all around the world. Now, as shared on your screen right now, these are the three cities that you were supposed to be comparing. They were Paris, which is situated in uh, France, and then we also have Tokyo, which is situated in Japan, and we also have Istanbul, which is situated in Turkey. So these are the three of the most popular cities all around the world for uh, tourism purposes. And there's a reason, there are so many reasons why people go there. And you can actually use some of these reasons to come up with the sentences that you were supposed to come up with. All right. Now, for this particular activity, you were supposed to come up with three different sentences. The first sentence is just to use the basic skill of adjective, all right, with either one of the pictures of the places. The second sentence is supposed to be a comparative sentence where you're supposed to compare one city to another. And the last sentence is about superlative, where you select one city and describe it at the highest degree, where you are no longer comparing it with another city. All right, so let's try to check some of the answers that we have. So randomly, let's just go to group 9. All right. Okay, now for group 9, let's first look at Stephanie Nicole, Anak Ricky, and let's see if you have come up with good sentences for this. Now, number one, for adjective sentence, Stephanie, you come up with Paris is the good destination to visit, which is correct, all right? But if I can make a minor correction to that sentence, instead of saying Paris is the good destination to visit, it's supposed to be, let me copy this, it's supposed to be Paris is a good destination to visit. Now, in this sentence, the adjective is good. All right, that's a very basic, a very famous adjective. So this person has successfully used this adjective quite easily and successfully. So this sentence is correct. The second sentence is comparative sentence, where you're supposed to talk about one city and compare it with another. So over here, the sentence is Tokyo is the better place than Istanbul. All right, so Tokyo is the better place than in Istanbul. I'm sorry, Tokyo is the better place than Istanbul. So over here, we can see the adjective is better or better than. All right, so you can see comparisons there, where this person actually compared Tokyo and Istanbul and stating that Tokyo is better than Istanbul, which is correct. Good. Now the last sentence is um, supposed to be superlative, where you just select one super sentence. And in this sentence, the person said, Istanbul is the best spot for tourism. Istanbul is the best spot for tourism. And the superlative being the word best. Now, this person right here was very smart because instead of using three different variations of adjectives, she just used one adjective and upgrading it to another level as she proceeds to the other variation of sentences. The base adjective is good. Now, that's the word that you use when you just want to use it as an adjective. But when you upgrade it to comparative, you cannot say gooder or you cannot say more good. So good, when you turn it into a comparative adjective, it becomes better. All right. And again, when you change better into a superlative level, you cannot say betterest or the most better. So the superlative form for better is best. So good job, Stephanie. All right. So let's look at another sample. Now this one was written by Gilbert Ambam, right? And let's see if you can come up with sentences as good as Stephanie just now. Now let's look at adjective first. This person said, Paris is the city of love. All right. For the adjective sentence, Paris is the city of love. Now, this sentence here is grammatically correct. There's nothing wrong with it. However, there's no adjective there. I cannot see any adjective there. However, you can actually manipulate this sentence so that some of the words can appear like an adjective. So instead of saying Paris is a city of love, you can say Paris is the love city. And when you say this as a sentence, automatically the word love here becomes an adjective because it describes the city. What kind of city is that? It's a love city. So Paris over love over there automatically becomes an adjective. All right, so Paris is the love city. For comparative, all right, this person said Tokyo is the best and busy city than Paris and Istanbul. Structurally, you're almost correct, but there are some minor changes there that we need to do. Uh, Tokyo is the best is not actually comparative, that is actually superlative. Okay, superlative, that's the highest level. So you cannot use the best. So let's cross this out. Okay, so Tokyo is the busy city than Paris and Istanbul. Remember, basically, when you come up with a comparative sentence, when you have identified uh, the word as an adjective, in comparative, remember the adjective can appear in two forms. It's either the adjective with added er at the end, or the adjective with more before the adjective itself. All right. So it's either Tokyo is the more busy city, or Tokyo is the busier city than Paris and Istanbul. Grammatically, Tokyo is the busier city is the correct version. All right. So over here it says Tokyo is the busier city than Paris and Istanbul. So busier being the comparative adjective here. All right. And last but not least, for the superlative, this person said Istanbul, well known as the Blue Mosque, and it has popular historical. Grammatically incorrect, and I do not see any superlative form there. All right. So Istanbul, the first error is there should be the word is there. All right. So Istanbul is a well-known city. So if you put it here, well-known functions as an adjective, but that's not what we are looking for here. All right. Uh, if you want to use well-known, which is an adjective, as the superlative form, as I've mentioned in one of the videos previously, so you can simply say Istanbul is the most well-known city. This one no need. City in the world. All right. So Istanbul is the most well-known city in the world. So here, most well-known functions as the superlative adjective. Okay, Gilbert, let's go on to the next one. Now, remember in the previous video, I highlighted the fact that beautiful, despite being correct, most popular known, well-known adjective out there, it is overly used. Now, this is an example. Now, I'm not saying that Alistair has wrongly used it, but I'm just highlighting the fact that in the future, when you are planning to use beautiful is in an adjective to describe anything, a person, an item, or a place, please remember that other than beautiful, apart from beautiful, there are other words that actually have the similar meaning with beautiful, but maybe not as widely used as beautiful. All right, you can use the word gorgeous, which is similar meaning as beautiful. You can also say, if you're talking about places, you can say uh, scenery, scenic, all right? Or you can say picturesque, or you can say amazing, or you can say uh, astonishing, higher levels of words. Okay, just remember that the word beautiful is not the only word in English to describe something as cantik. There are other words out there. But nonetheless, let's look at the sentences here written by Alestin. Now, for the adjective, Alestin said, Paris is a beautiful place to visit for tourists who want to traveling. Okay, just a minor error there. Paris is a beautiful place to visit for tourists who want to traveling. No need, because tourists, the only thing they do is travel. So if you put for whatever over there, it beats it's redundant. There's no point. All right, so you can just put it there. So Paris is a beautiful place to visit. For tourists is enough. So beautiful being the adjective there. Superlative, Istanbul is the most beautiful city in Turkey. Istanbul is the most beautiful city in Turkey is actually correct. All right, so good job there. And for a comparative, Tokyo is more beautiful place than Istanbul. Again, very minor error. Instead of saying Tokyo is more beautiful place than Istanbul, it's sufficient for you to say, or just say Tokyo is more beautiful than Istanbul. As simple as that. Okay, Elistine, let me highlight this first. All right. So let's look at one final sample. Let's look at this one. Also beautiful. Let's find one sample that actually experiments with very rarely used adjective. Okay, I still say beautiful there. Not that it's wrong, but I'm just trying to see other variations. This can see, you see what I mean? Beautiful is overly used. Let's see this one. And this one doesn't highlight what kind of sentence that is. Again, beautiful. This one is similar with the first sample that we saw. Oh, that was the first sample. Oh, there are only 15 submissions here. All right. Okay, this one should be okay. All right, so ideal. The first sentence is, I'm not sure what kind of sentence this is, but let's figure it out together. Paris is a very beautiful and majestic architectural tourism destination now. This sentence, despite having beautiful there being the adjective, it also has another sentence, another adjective, which is more or less, it has a similar meaning with beautiful, but probably bigger in degree. All right, majestic normally used when you want to describe something as big, yang besar, yang nampak gah. Okay, so we use the word majestic. But still, you can apply the word majestic here in the sentence describing Paris. Paris is a very beautiful and majestic architectural tourism destination. Correct. Now, this one is just using the adjective as an adjective. The second sentence, Tokyo is a modern tourist destination. Tokyo is, this is supposed to be comparative. Tokyo is, okay, I know how to fix this. Tokyo is a more modern tourist destination. This one no need lah. Okay, so Tokyo is a more modern tourist destination than Paris. This one is comparative because we can see comparative form of adjective there, and we can see two cities being compared and the existence of the word than over there. Right, so Tokyo is a more modern tourist destination. We put more here because modern, you cannot say moderner, right? So for adjectives that you cannot add er at the end, for example, you cannot say moderner. So when you use it in a comparative form, don't put er at the end. Instead, put more in front of the word itself. Tokyo is a more modern tourist destination than Paris. Okay. So the last one, Istanbul is a tourist destination that is famous for its unique cultural wealth. This is supposed to be a superlative form. All right. So let's try to fix it together. So instead of saying Istanbul is a tourist destination that is famous for its unique cultural wealth, Istanbul is a tourist destination that is most famous for its unique cultural wealth. All right, so most famous here is superlative, the highest degree of something already. Okay, all right. So just remember, in a nutshell, when you are using adjective, you are using it as the root word form. There's no additional letters in that usage. All right, you are just using it to describe uh, people, places, or items. So it appears as it is. But when you want to use it in another variation, you can use it for comparative purpose, where you have to have more than one item to compare. All right, and the adjective has to appear in either two forms. The first one is um, the adjective must have er at the end. For example, pretty becomes prettier, big becomes bigger, small becomes smaller. All right, with the existence of er at the end. Or for adjectives that when you add er at the end, they sound weird. That means you're not supposed to say it that way. All right, so instead of adding er at the end, you can also put more in front of the word. For example, beautiful. You cannot say beautifuler, so it has to be more beautiful than the word handsome cannot be handsomer. So you have to say more handsome than. Or intelligent, you cannot say intelligenter. So it has to be more intelligent than. All right, so that's the second level. The third level is when you pick the highest level of something. You're not comparing anything to anything anymore. It is the highest level of that category. So we call it superlative, super. Right? For example, uh, big becomes bigger in comparative, but when you put it in superlative, it becomes biggest. All right, so that's the first form, est. So for adjective where in comparative it has er, when you change it to superlative, just change er to est. So smaller becomes smallest, bigger becomes biggest, uh, prettier becomes prettiest. As simple as that. All right. However, for adjectives that you cannot add est at the end because they would sound weird, similar with comparative, but you don't put more in front of the word. Instead, you put most. The word most indicates yang paling tinggi. All right. So most intelligent, most beautiful, most amazing. All right. That is for superlative. Okay, so in the future, if you have any issues with adjective, comparative, and superlative, always remember that there's a very comprehensive set of note that I've created on Elite page. However, if you feel more comfortable asking me personally, my Telegram and WhatsApp is always open for you. All right, so I hope this video uh, has been very helpful. If you have any question, feel free to ask me. Okay. All right, so thank you very much. I'll see you around. Bye bye.